Okay. So anyways, yeah, first of all, I'm not here to ask for money because I know that the state doesn't have any money, and I definitely, I do have opinions on the budgets, debates, but that's outside the scope here, because like I said in my letter, I am an independent, and basically, I'm wanting to, basically, deal with this in a nonpartisan issue, nonpartisan way. I was not diagnosed with autism until 2009 at the age of 40, which is very typical for what is now referred to as high-functioning autistics. It was raised prior to the DSM-4, which came out in '94, 6 years after I graduated from high school, which first recognized that we existed. So before then, I was just some weird kid with 140 IQ who had a 1.9 GPA. Okay. And so anyways, but in going through the the procedure of getting on SSDI was extremely degrading for me because it went against everything that I stood for. Sure. And there's other people in the autistic support group that I go to that they're experiencing the same thing. They don't want to be on public assistance, and they would do whatever, that they're doing whatever they can to get off of public assistance, but nevertheless, basically, we are, being forced onto public assistance, and basically, my view is that the problem starts with who officially defines autism, okay? With all due respect to the psychologists and psychiatrists, who I've sat under and I've learned a lot of good things, they are professional fault finders, okay? When they define somebody, they define them strictly by their faults. And there's more to autistics than the issues that we struggle with. But with the definitive definition that everybody refers to being done by the fault finders, and then we have the people who do the textbooks, for teaching, medical doctors, physical therapists, speech therapists, all those, that they start with this definition, which is based solely on our struggles, okay? And then you get to the autism organizations who are going to be doing their Autism Awareness Month next month, and it's their Autism Awareness Month. It is not our Autism Awareness Month. Okay. It is all about them and what they want for us. They have basically appointed themselves as our representatives without our consultation or consent, and basically, for me, it's a lot like you remember the Jerry Kids Rebellion in the 1990s, where they got tired of the Jerry Lewis the telethon and how they depicted them, and how the organization was using the money that was raised in their names. Well, that's basically what a lot of autistic self-advocates are doing right now, is they're getting tired of what these organizations who have appointed themselves as our representatives, they know where our support group is at. They come when they want to sell their agenda on us, their goods, their services, their concepts. But when we invite them to a conference that's me, Sue Golubach, Tara Marshall, and several other autistics, and we promote it as, okay, these are the issues that we talk about at our group and the solutions that we're finding. Not one of these organizations cared to show up. And that speaks volumes about what the problems are, that we have these issues, we want to talk about these issues, and these organizations that have appointed themselves as our representatives don't care what our viewpoint is. And then it works down to the IEPs, individual education plans of the autistic children, okay, that they go right along this same thing with all about the faults, Meanwhile, there's Temple Grandin. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's the most prominent autistic self-advocate in all of North America, and she's invited to come and speak at these conferences. And so, a conference that is lucky to draw 150 sells out an auditorium that seats 500. Well, yeah, that's great. The thing is, her concept that we're different, not less. Where does that appear in any of their literature? It doesn't. It doesn't appear in the DSM-5. It does not appear in the textbooks. It does not appear at these conferences. It does not appear in the IEP, so it's all great and dandy that Temple Grandin is allowed to come in and sell out a conference room, but is anybody actually, embracing any of her concepts to where it'll give autistics the opportunity to be more than people assume that they can be?
Sure. Let me ask a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, and your name is?
Jason.
Jason, okay. Jason, number one, where are you located at? You mentioned 35th and Peoria.
No, 19th Avenue in Peoria.
19th Avenue, Peoria. Is
Yeah.
that where your
Yeah.
organization meets?
No, that's where I reside. The Autism Support Group meets at the Pyle Center in Tempe at Rural and Southern.
And that's you and how many people?
Well, we've had as many as over 24 showing up. Sometimes we go into little attendance slumps. We still had over a dozen. It's second Saturday of every month.
I like that attendance slumps. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's,
So your IQ is what, 140?
yes,
That's pretty good.
right.
I know, I tell you what, Jason, as far as autism, I am probably one of the least educated on
Right.
autism.
Mm-hmm.
But my job is to listen
Right.
to all sides
Mm-hmm.
and make a decision should something come to
Right.
I mentioned to you yesterday about the parents that had come, and it wasn't necessarily regarding autism, but it was regarding a lot of them had autistic.
Yeah, yes, yeah. The
And so-
physical restraints doesn't
Right,
just
yeah,
apply
yeah.
to the autism.
And so, I've never met, and I don't know if I've ever met, to be honest with you, maybe I have, maybe I haven't,
Mhm.
somebody that said they were an adult. Is that
Right.
fair? I'm assuming you're about 45, 46.
I'll be turning 46.
Okay,
Mhm.
so an adult that has autism. So
Right.
I'm very, I want to help
Right.
if I can. I don't
Mhm.
know. I want to ask
Yeah.
you, give me the 3 top issues that your group, your independent group, you mentioned one, and I think I caught it, was these outside groups don't know what you need as an individual adult.
Right.
What are the 3 top concerns?
Jobs.
Okay, Joe.
Okay. Jobs is number one. Because that's going to allow us to get back our dignity
Sure.
by being self-supporting.
Sure.
Okay.
What kind of jobs?
Jobs that we can maintain over the long haul. Yeah, I can go and get a job at Taco Bell and I'll be let go within a month because one of the issues particular to me, not all autistics have, but as far as I have, is I have extremely slow manual dexterity. Okay, so any type of a production job, I'm simply not going to be able to meet the production standards. Okay.
But you can do it, you just can't meet the standards.
Right, and so I would be let go. So, and so as far as, getting back to, not just talking about, what our struggles are, is, one of the core issues that's universal amongst all autistics is executive functioning. That's the frontal lobe of the brain that basically processes information, problem solving, organization skills, so on and so forth. Okay, and this is one of the areas that we're weak at.
So let me ask you a question now. Are you speaking for you or are you speaking as a group?
This is something that I've discussed with Sue Dollabach, as far as, she is an expert, and also Dr. Brian Woodruff, who's a neurologist.
Because,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong, Jason, I just have another, okay, I'm just,
Right.
I'm
Yes,
trying,
yes,
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
So, okay, you mentioned manual dexterity. Are there other, do autistic people, are they not sufficient in certain areas? In other words,
Right.
you have manual dexterity. Could somebody else have something else that's their main
Um,
concern?
Yeah, well,
Or something they do?
yes, it's going to vary. Okay, autism is a neural connectivity issue. Okay, there are certain parts of our brain that has additional neural connections and other parts that have fewer neural connections.
Okay.
Okay, and so as far as the areas that we have, have more neural connections, they could result in hypersensitivity issues to various sensory stimuli, but they can also result in us being extremely gifted
Oh,
in
absolutely.
those areas.
Absolutely.
And as far as
And
Yeah.
just a little bit more that I wanted to let you know
Right.
about me. My sister has worked very well with autistic kids,
Mm-hmm.
and she loves autistic kids
Right.
because of their giftedness.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they have. It's like they're just super smart. And
Yeah, and that's what frustrates us.
Yeah.
Is that's when people, I don't know if you took the time to Google autism before a meeting
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, but well, I'm glad you did.
Right.
Okay, because that a lot of what's on there, like I said, focuses on our struggles and causes people to not realize that we do have these strengths. I was starting to explain. We have executive functioning difficulties. Okay, somebody who has hearing impairment, or visual impairment, would they have increased sensory, hearing in order to compensate? Well, what do autistics have to compensate? We have superior memories, the ability to absorb this information. And yet this is treated like it's just some circus freak show aspect, instead of recognizing that, okay, this is the basis for finding roles that autistics can do. An example that I use.
Let me just interject one other thing, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't look at you as a circus freak show.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And the people that I've talked with want to help.
Yeah.
We do,
Yeah.
and we are getting bombarded.
Yeah.
It's from different organizations.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, Jason, is that we are here to help.
Yeah, and yes, I recognize that these organizations are well-meaning, although there's a few individuals, I'm not going to mention names, who I think they're just in it for the money.
Yeah.
But as far as 95%, they are well-meaning. They really do want to help.
Sure.
But if they want to help, first thing they need to do is listen to us and let us explain the things that they are not correct about,
Okay.
the assumptions that they're making, and so and like I said, actually I did complete that, but anyways, so specifically what I was hoping be able to do is I did a little bit of research, and I guess the state legislature has from time to time done joint committees, where some from the House and some from the Senate get together
absolutely.
to deal with a specific issue.
Mhm.
Okay, and what I would like, I don't know if it could be set up in time for April Autism Awareness Month, but it would definitely be appreciated if a committee could be set up, in which me, Sue Galba, Tara Marshall, and Laura Nagel, and Autistic Self-Advocates from Cottonwood could come down and, oh wait, that's not, okay, gotta find, and can discuss that, things from our perspective, and I came up with this list last night of legislators based on, okay, first of all, that the committees that I'm to understand would deal with the priority issues, and then other secondary committees. So basically, everybody on that list is on at least 2 autism relevant committees, according in my subjective opinion. Okay. Again, I came up with this late last night, so I didn't have time to consult with anybody else. So it is my subjective opinion, that those are the order of priorities. And when you get to the 3s and 4s, quite frankly, it's because
just looking at at the very first one.
Right.
So look at this information a little bit closer.
Right.
The very oh, I see what it is. Okay, hold on. Paul Boyer, he is a chairman, but he's chairman of education.
Okay, maybe I copied that down wrong, or maybe it was.
Well, see, you have education underlined, so maybe I'm missing.
Yes. So these are the that's the main committee, and then these are listed as the other committees.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So all of them are on. On the education committee, and then the additional committees are the additional committees that I personally believe are relevant to the issues that we're needing to discuss. And again, that this is my subjective viewpoint, that I didn't have a chance to bounce off the other autistics, and also based on my limited understanding of what responsibilities the different committees have, and I could be a little bit off on some of those, but if we could.
It's a good list. My name's not on there. I'm kind of hurt by that.
Well, it's, yeah, I forget what it's.
I'm
yeah.
on more military,
Yeah.
Public safety.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah. Well, actually, the public safety is a secondary. It's in my opinion, it is a priority 3 because some autistics do have run-ins with police officers, sure. and there have been some
sure.
some problems there, and so I put it as a priority 3. Other autistics would want it to be a priority 1.
Right, but let's just take it incrementally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One little step at a time. So
Yeah.
I think your idea of setting up a committee is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I don't know if there's anything like that down here at all.
Mm-hmm.
And next month being Autistic Awareness Month, I'd be more than happy to you guys set up a schedule with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can get, if you want to send me that in an email.
Okay.
I can get some of these players here that I think would be good.
Okay. Yeah.
To where we could just sit down and listen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's set that up.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And you know, you mentioned jobs being number 1. That would give you your dignity back, and I am
Right.
100%.
Right.
I'm putting myself in your shoes.
Right. Yeah.
100% behind that, sir.
Right.
Number 2. What is your second concern?
Yeah. The second concern is what would be to basically be able to manage our day-to-day affairs, dealing with stressful environments and stuff like that. And this is stuff, okay, like I said, I didn't get diagnosed till I was 40. At the age of 20, I started going to a 12-step group for codependency, and so I learned a lot of this stuff.
Sure.
Okay, and so I know this stuff can be taught in a low budget, no budget, no setting. But the thing is, there's this mentality that no money equals no hope. First thing you do, you need to get money. If it doesn't cost $1,000, it isn't going to work.
Right.
And so even people
I like your philosophy.
Yeah, and it's like, well, even if these programs that cost $1,000 were 1,000 times better than my ideas, sure. The fact is we don't got the $1,000. Sure. So what are we going to do sure. until then? Curl up in a ball and be miserable?
Yeah. No, I like your thinking.
Yeah, and so
good stuff.
And so anyways, but so as far as
let me ask you one question just to get to know you a little bit better. If
Yeah.
you could have any job in the world,
right?
Any job. If I had the power to give you any job you ever want,
I'd be a teacher in the special ed departments, working specifically with autistics, having the knowledge that I gleaned from both Sue and Tara,
and why can't you be a teacher? What limits you from being a teacher?
Okay, well, yeah, that's a really interesting question because I actually volunteered at a school for the sole purpose of demonstrating that I could be a teacher. Okay, and I actually, going back to my junior and senior years of high school, I volunteered an hour a day at Parkway Elementary School, which prior to Article 9, which effects also included integrating the schools. It was the school that all the children with special ed needs for Mesa Public Schools was bused to. It was right across the street from Mesa High where I went to. And so I went and I made it very clear what my intention was, sure. And that they put me in the library, and I understood they wanted to get to know me, but nevertheless, it became very clear that they were never going to give me the opportunity to do what I actually did at Parkway, and what it all boils down to.
Did they let you go?
Well, basically, I wound up leaving, because basically, what I do believe, and I know this is very strong language, okay, but institutional discrimination. That they've been taught that, okay, here's the absolute list of stereotypes about autistics, and okay, Jason is autistic, therefore we need to be concerned about, what if this happens in the classroom, what if that happens in the classroom, because it's on this list. Well, the thing is, if you talk to people who've actually seen me work in the classroom, I don't have meltdowns. 2 years prior to me getting my label was the last time I worked with children in a structured setting at my church, in correlation with the free English class, okay? And so I was dealing with non-English speaking students, preschool age children who didn't know any English, okay? And I gave those references, but they would not contact my references to see about how, about how I actually work with children, because they had this list of stereotypes that they listed all these concerns about autistics and how they might have meltdowns and all this other stuff, how they can't handle stress. And it's like, well, why don't you talk to somebody who's actually seen me work with children? They wouldn't do that.
So you mentioned meltdown. You don't need to explain it. I can assume.
Yeah.
Do you know when one's going to happen?
But I don't have them.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You mentioned it, so.
Yeah. As far as the grandiose meltdowns, now I do sometimes get irritated at people, and
You're legislator.
What I'm more likely to do when my stress starts is to go into what I refer to as a shutdown mode,
Sure.
where I literally become nonverbal. I cannot organize my thoughts, but at that time I freeze up. I don't blow up at the children, okay, or at anybody else. Now, if you keep putting the screws to me, while I'm in shutdown mode, I guess anything's possible.
Sure.
But
and Jason, it's no different than any one of us.
Yeah, and so
I mean, if I get stressed, I get in shutdown mode. You put the screws to me.
Yeah,
if it keeps getting hotter and
Yeah.
hotter. I mean, I have a release. You mentioned church.
Yeah.
That's my release.
Mm-hmm.
Is my the person who I gave my life to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Jesus Christ. So,
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're rolling that on tape. So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. So
There's a few atheists in
That's
my
fine.
autism group that isn't going to be happy, but
That's fine.
Yeah, they can get over it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Jason. So what is your third?
Thirds.
Now remember, you just said they can get over it. Now you're taping too, so
Yeah. Okay.
so you might want to edit that part.
Yeah. Well, as far as the third highest priority, would be early intervention. Okay, and this is and you're welcome, Tara. Anyways, yes, that's her number one issue is she can provide statistics to show if you give early intervention that's from 1 year to 4 years old, okay, that the amount of dependency, the amount of public support that the autistic will need later on will be greatly reduced. Okay.
What do you mean by intervention?
Tara,
give me the
that is Tara's. Tara and Sue can explain that.
Okay.
That's outside my area. But in any case, traditionally that is done by professionals. However, like Temple Grandin, said, when she was here in 2012, get the churches involved. So a lot of these interventions, a lot of this stuff can be done. Can be shown to not only parents,
Sure.
but to respite care providers who and so it is possible for some of these services to be done by a volunteer, by a corps of volunteers, which goes completely against the status quo mindset where first you need money and it's like, well, we don't have the money.
Right.
And so but nevertheless, if we can open up people's minds to the possibility that some of these techniques can be utilized
Sure.
by people, by just the rank and
Sure.
file
Mm-hmm.
with average intelligence, it's better than nothing. It may
There's
not
no
be
difference.
everything that Tara wants, but it's better than nothing.
There's some people can comprehend things easier than others.
Right.
I can't. There's a lot of things that it takes me time to comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to take it from a third grade level.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm not ashamed to say that because that's just who I am.
Right.
So, I think that you sell yourself short when you, and I know that maybe people have brought this on, but I think you sell yourself short when you think that somebody's better intellectually or anything, because they're not, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
oh yes, and I
You
know that
and
to
you're
be,
probably,
yeah,
I think if I really, from my understanding of autism,
right,
I think if I was to get to know you a little bit more, I would find that you're probably super intelligent
yeah,
and smart, and so I think that needs to be utilized, but I don't know how to get there.
right,
I don't know how to do that, and I need your help to get us to that point. Maybe there's something that the legislature can do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if nothing else, just having a hearing where we can express and have it recorded, so that way, we can tell the world that, hey, we have these contributions to make, and that's the biggest thing, is to recognize that, that we have these contributions to make, and some of it is to challenge the assumptions that these professionals have, and a lot of them are well-meaning, most of them are well-meaning, but nevertheless, it's just like, any other group of people, if you only know things from one perspective, you're looking at somebody else from your perspective, well, that other person has their own perspective.
Yeah.
And that is completely, missing with
Right.
how we're dealt with.
Right now, Jason, you do know that we probably have about 2 weeks left of this session.
Okay, that it is not, so.
Well, that's fine, but here,
Okay.
what I would like to do, meet you here.
Okay,
I will get a couple of other legislators. I will bring in some people that I'm thinking of one person, my sister,
okay,
who has lots of great stories about autistic children.
okay,
And she, I would like to get her perspective. So let's sit down, let's meet here. I can get a little conference room,
okay,
and we could talk and listen.
okay,
And if you want to record it, that's fine.
right,
But I do want to hear you.
right.
I want to learn
Yeah.
for my own learning, and then if I can help,
Yeah,
I'm here to do that.
yeah. So I can, and I'll also invite Sue and Tara, because a lot of the specific questions that you have, especially when it comes to early intervention,
Sure.
that is way outside my purview.
There's my card, and you mentioned
Okay.
two other people. I'm going to give you cards for them.
Okay,
And feel free to contact me. What I'd like to do, Jason, is meet with you.
yeah.
I hear you. I hear your heart. I think you just want to be treated
Mhm.
with respect and dignity, and I'm going to give you that respect and dignity because you've earned it.
Well, thank
You've
you.
earned it by coming down
Yeah.
here. You've earned it by being passionate about what you believe in, and I just want to see if I can help you.
Okay, well,
I'm here to
that's
do
great.
it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, and and another thing, this upcoming Saturday, I'm actually hosting my own meeting, and we're going to be talking specifically about the educational struggles of autistics, and
Where is that going to be held at?
at the Disability Empowerment Center, 5025 East Washington. Okay.
Why is it way over there?
Because this Disability Empowerment Center is really great as far as being supportive of us and not charging us for rooms.
Okay.
And so
Where does the group live generally? Do they live all over the valley?
the majority of our group, it's in Tempe, so the majority of the group does live in the East Valley. There are a few people. Yeah, it's a 2.5-hour bus ride for me to get to the Tempe meeting
What
each
time
way.
is your meeting Saturday?
Yeah, well, my meeting this Saturday is at 1 o'clock. And like I said, that's at Disability Empowerment Center at 1 o'clock.
Can you send me the info?
Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to need a good email address, because I tried using the email address on the legislative website,
Yeah,
and
well, you have an email, right?
yes.
Just put my email address, and it's on that card.
Okay, yeah,
My email address is on that
Okay.
card, akern@azledge.gov.
okay,
And put in the subject line something that'll grab my attention, like autism, or put in there meeting autism.
okay,
Okay, in that order. That way, if I see meeting,
yeah,
I'm going to prioritize it. I'm going to look at it.
okay,
And if you could send me that information, can't promise you I'll be there, but
Right. Yeah,
If you give
on
me-
this short notice, we weren't expecting you, but we were hoping.
well, if I
yeah,
can, I would like to sit down and listen.
Yeah.
I do want to.
Yeah.
I do want to learn. I've got my job here is to help.
Yeah,
My job here is to bring justice.
yes,
My job here, we say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag all the time. Liberty and justice for all. It's not just liberty and justice for me. It's liberty and justice for you.
right. And
So I believe in that, and I believe in our country, and I believe what we can do is help each other out. So, okay. Do I have another appointment?